It's a bit slow. Okay, we're live. So to all the YouTube viewers, good afternoon from Dubai. If you want to join us to have to ask questions, you should use the link. It's in my Facebook page. That's the Zoom link. You can use the Zoom link and you'll get access to the chat, which we're using, where you can ask questions and have your questions answered. Let's go. Let's start. So good afternoon again. Welcome to this live session. Not a lot of people in today. I don't know where's everybody. We'll get them. The viewing in YouTube is still pretty good, so hope you can share this. Let's go. So we're looking. Let's start with where we were. Let's open the account again and go back to where we were. I'll just close that. So we're still in the silver trade. I still have the silver trade and the silver option. Silver still looks upside to me. Actually, we had a nice movement yesterday up. So I'm looking at this pretty much as a consolidation, and I expect this to break out. When it breaks this top, that's when I will be looking at it to see whether there's a possibility for one more down or whether it's going to take off. Now, there is a possibility always for that. That's on the bigger picture and where we look at other patterns and structures that we look at. Now we just needed to break the top, and then we're going to figure out what happens. So if I wasn't in a trade, I would have taken a trade at this level. So now that I've made that call for myself where I would take the trade, let me very fast go through the disclaimer. This is my video showing you how I trade, what I do, giving you a live view into my account, and the kind of transparency I think all professional traders should have, which is what I'm trying to start to do. I hope this could continue and most traders could do it. But I'm not making any trade call for anyone. If you're taking any trade, you're taking it at your own risk. And I don't know all the other blah, blah, blah you need to say in between there. You should consult with your financial advisor and all the blah, blah, blah thing in there. But in short, I'm not making trade calls for anybody. I'm showing you how I trade, what I do. This is my show. So please relax, enjoy it, and treat it like a show. If you learn something from here, I'll be pretty happy about that. If you don't, well, you enjoy the show. Let's go. So nobody write me and said, hey, I took your trade. You didn't take my trade. I'm not making trade calls for you, right? So I'm looking for this. No, it's not an extended running flat. I expect it to totally go up. It's pretty much, this is a correction here, and I think this will be looking for it to break out. And basically, I expect it to continue to go. But there's always that possibility that if they make a bigger correction, it can continue to correct for a longer period of time. I'm not expecting that. So let's see if we get a breakout today. So far, so good. It's doing what I expected to do. You've got an impulse. You've got a correction. Let's look for the next impulse. So today there's a likely breakout there. Let me show you my account, the trades. We'll go through the trades one by one. I'm still in the Euro New Zealand buy and sell. So let me show you the Euro New Zealand, what we're doing with that. Euro New Zealand, I'm selling the trade. I will be closing the sell right now, probably in this here, because I expect this to go down. I would have put a sell order here at this level. I'll be putting a sell order. I'm closing the buy, sorry. I'm putting a sell order here at this level if I wasn't in the sell, but I'm in the sell right here. So there's no sense for me to put a sell there. So I'll close the buy. Why? Because we have a sell setup. For me, this is a sell setup. So if I was going to sell it, then I don't need to be in a buy. So because of that, I would close the buy here, and I would re-enter the buy in a later stage if I think there's still more upside. So the buy is closed, and we are in the sell only now, right? So let's go. It's short. So I think this is a sell setup. I think it's going to go. If I see the structural change happening, anything like they come here and they're going to go back up, that is possible. If you look at a 1, 2, 3 there, possible 1, 2, 3 here, they're going to go back up. I'll either buy it here or I'll buy it somewhere in here again. That means we're going to retest this top, and then we're going to drop. So the buy is if they're ever going to retest this top, which means if we're going to make a running flat. I don't see a running flat structure making here, right? In any case, this is a long-term sell setup. I showed you it yesterday, so there is no need to worry about even if it goes up a little more, right? Because this structure is a long-term sell setup. This is your A wave, this is your B wave, this is your C wave. Even if they tag the top, they're going to come back like this. So it's a long-term sell, and I'm trying to get the best entry at the top. I hope that is very clear. That is what I do. This is how I trade. I try to find a daily structure, and then I try to trade it down, catching the next wave to the downside or a wave to the upside, which is what we did. We actually trade this down, we trade it up, and then we're trading it back down again. So let's see how it goes, right? Leave it here in the 1 hour. If I was not in the trade, I would have put the sell entry here. Coming immediately from that, I can tell you in New Zealand, I have a buy entry here. If you look at the New Zealand, I have a buy order there. New Zealand, USD, buy stop at 65.87. That's exactly where it is, where that line is, 65.87. Because I think New Zealand will probably be doing this. I might not be able to pay attention. If they do that, I want to be in the trade. If they tag me, they break the top and they look like they're going to go back down, I'll be out of the trade. I think this is a long-term trade to the upside. Stop level for that trade, if I was going to put a stop, will be just under here, which means if they tag me and they start to come back, I'll close it before it breaks there. That's my level where I'll be exiting the trade. It's no longer valid. Some trades I took today. Let's look at some of the trades I took today. So as you can see, there is a yen close, there is a pound yen close, and there is a pound Aus close. Pound Aus close and pound yen is break even, pound Aus slight loss, yen is slight profit. So let's look at those trades. Yen I took yesterday afternoon. I looked at this, I realized we're going to go up at this point, and I took the trade from the break of this here. Somewhere in here, I took the trade for the upside, and I closed it here because I was going to do, I have a course going on right now, and I was going into class, and I realized that they will pull back. I didn't want to pull back to get too deep on me, so I just closed the trade. I'll wait for this pullback, and I will buy. If it makes a corrective structure, I'm buying, because I'm looking at this pattern as a very big daily expanding flat. That's what I'm looking at. So if I get a correction here today, I would look for that trade to the upside. I'm not looking for a sell as yet, right? There is no sell setup here for me. I'm looking for a buy setup. So if I get a correction today, something like this, that might take a couple hours. As you can see, that might take a number of hours there. I'm looking for something like that here, and then I'm looking for that trade to the upside. So as you can see, it works, right? This thing, it really amazingly worked. It's doing exactly what we wanted it to do. Let's go. What is the other trade I was in? The pound yen and the pound Aus. So the pound Aus was, I closed it during the news event because I was in the sell. It was positive. And then they started to pull back. So I took this sell here. I took this sell. It started to pull back. It went down in profit, pulled back, and I closed it right here. It was it closed for a few pips. You can see that's 2,000, a few pips. And they actually went up a little, and they're coming back. This whole structure is downside. I don't think this piece is going down now, because there is a good chance that we are making 1, 2, 3, go back up to the top there to finish this pattern, 1, 2, 3. And somewhere here, I'll be looking for a sell. So there is a very good chance that this might go back up to the top there. If it's not going back to the top there, I will wait for it to make a corrective structure here, which is come back here, go back to the top there, and then look for the sell. So there is the sell setup in it right now. And if it is going to fall from here, I'll have to wait for a setup, which I don't have. So right now, it's still a sell. That doesn't change. The big structure is a sell. The bigger pattern is a sell. I'm just waiting to get the best entry I can probably get on it, right? So this now is no longer the best entry. I'll wait to see whether they make a correction here, and that would become a good entry. Or if they go back, retest the top, and that becomes the best entry for me, right? Because I'm looking at a possibility of them testing the top. So this is when this starts to go, it's going to be a long-term trade for the very, very big move. The first move I want, sorry, what's that? The first move I'm looking for is the move back to this level, something like this. And then from there, a breakout of this structure. I do think we're going to break out this time because we have a complete pattern in here. At least for now, this pattern is very complete. So I'm expecting first this move down here. And then second, I'm expecting it to break out of that. So this is a very, very big trade. That is why I'm trying to get in the entry at the best possible place and stay with it. The first entry didn't work. Still look for the next entry in. I probably could have stayed in that one, but there was news event coming, and I decided in the news event, the best thing would be to just take off it and wait for the news event to finish, just because it could spike one more up, and I don't want to be in more drawdowns right now. So I'll just let this go. We're going to get in this trade. There's no question about it. Right? So it's just a matter of time. So the trade that I'll be looking at today is whether this takes me in. And we will look at, I'm looking also at a possibility for the yen, if the yen corrects long enough, if we get a good correction here. If it stays at the top here, if I notice that they're staying at the top there, let me see in a 15 minutes, kind of like, this small pattern where they're going to go. If they're going to break out of this small pattern and go, they will probably make a small high here and then come back. They will eventually make a deep correction. So I would like to see the deep correction now, just in case I might put an entry order above the top here, just to make sure it doesn't take off like a rocket and I'm not in it, right? So these are the trades that I'm in. These are the trades that I take. And as you can see, the account yesterday when we opened the account, it was at, this one was 140, it was 342. We were at 360 now, 359. This one is still where it is because I haven't booked any trade. These are the trades that I take. They haven't been booked yet. They will book sometime tonight. It raised by 1,000 actually. There was a $1,000 trade added to it, so that's not anything. This is the one we will focus on until we start closing trades. These closed trades will actually go there. So you will see a $4,000 plus on this tomorrow because you close one positive, one negative, and this $4,000 will be the positive, 4,500 positive. You'll see added to this tomorrow. So let's go. I still like the yen trade. I just wanted to consolidate more, and then I'll go with it. Let's see. You guys have questions. Pound and Oz news today. Well, that depends. Today's Pound news was there. Aussie news will be tomorrow for me. It's not today. That's probably tomorrow. Let me see tomorrow if we have news. Yeah, we have Aussie news 5:30 a.m. Dubai time. I would probably not be there. So that's your today, but not my today. Let's see what else you're looking at. Is there an AB squeeze in the USD daily? No. The US dollar daily? No. Daily? Oh, that's not a squeeze. I see what you're saying. That's not a squeeze, but we were expecting this to go up. It has to first come back here. See that little piece there? And then where am I expecting the upside? This is going to go up, but in the 4 hour, you notice what we have here. Actually, we might even get a sell setup today. You're actually getting a sell setup right now almost. See? It's like a sell. You can sell this right now. We're expecting it to come here and probably break down to this level. So this would have been, I thought that would be a big running flat, but it's probably more of a contracting flat in there. No, it's a running flat, but a smaller running flat. So you can go with this as a small running flat, and you can go with this, something like that. So that might have been the top there. This is looking downside. I really don't like it so much because there's still a chance of this being a bigger running flat. I'll show you why this is probably being a bigger running flat here. They can just come here and then go back, retest the top. All we'll have to do is make sure we keep a stop a little above here, which means I'll have to calculate a much bigger stop if I'm taking this trade. So it looks like a good trade to take. Actually, it has everything that you would need to take a trade. And with a stop that is much higher, with a stop that is above this stop. So you'll have to calculate, I will have to calculate the risk, something like this, about a 50 pips risk. And when it comes to this level here, when it drops to this level here, put it to break even. So this is a trade I can take based on the setup that I have. We will take it just to make sure we take one trade live here at least. So we're going to click Euro USD. Euro USD. And we're going to take it with quick trade, 2 standards, and we're going to take the sell. Yeah, we're going to sell it. So we sell. Okay, 20 standards. Stops will be calculated above the stops. So we have a lot of time. I don't think they're going to just do that, right? So we'll watch it come here. And if it comes very slow, we'll take off the trade. If they go fast and they hit there, we'll put it to break even. So now it's just waiting to see what it's going to do. I actually like the trade. I think we will watch it come here. And then we will watch to see whether they break out to give us this trade. This is the trade we're looking for, this piece. And then it's upside. We're looking for that. When it comes to this level, there's a good chance it will be turning back to the upside. So if this goes, it will go to that level only today. Not very much. Please forecast Turkish lira. We'll go to that just now. Is this correction enough for that impulse or wait for the more? On which one? You're done with this correction on this piece here? On gold? I didn't remember looking at gold as yet. And AB squeeze and silver, no AB squeeze and silver. Sir, could we please take a look at the New Zealand CAD? I think I'm getting ready for a move. We'll come to that just now. So let me go back to those that I missed. Somebody wants a Turkish lira, then in New Zealand CAD, then gold and silver. Let's go. Let's start with Turkish lira, since that is the first one. Looks a little more upside. You're actually getting a nice flag here, but that's still a consolidation. You're still within a consolidation zone on the 1 hour. Let's see the 4 hour, what it has. You might be actually making a very, very big running flat here. So there's a chance you're going to go up. I think you may want to wait for the break of this to the upside. At least that looks upside to me. Then we're going to see from there. Short term, that's an upside. And then if they don't break the top, you'll get a break-even trade for the downside. But it's looking more upside to me. Let's see what else we're looking at. Turkish lira, is there a correction enough for the impulse on gold? I think he was asking about gold, whether there's a correction enough there for. I don't think so. They might consolidate more. Like I said yesterday, I think you can put an entry order there and allow this to come back some more and then decide where you're going to move it downwards. You want to move it downwards, you're going to decide where to move it downwards when you actually, it's going to correct a little more, right? Next one, what are we looking at? We're looking at correction enough, an AB squeeze and nose, sir. Can you look at the, you guys can call me Anil. I don't like the sir thing too much. I'm not that much into it, but I mean, just use Anil, that's okay. And it's ANIL, just in case. New Zealand CAD. Let's see what you were looking for in the New Zealand CAD. We're looking for an up move, but I don't think it's ready. We're looking for actually a very big up move, right? We're looking for this to give us a big up move. But first, I think we might see this come down here. You might see this come down. So it's something like looking for this and then go up. I don't see this sell setup in it as yet. I don't see a sell setup there. So probably wait on this one. I'd wait on that. It looks more upside. This is a sharp move, so we're looking for more upside rather than downside. So, okay, so the euro actually just went. Euro New Zealand moving, euro moving. Well, if you get, it's rare you get them that they fall immediately, but let's see. Euro was downside. All the euro pairs are downside. You got to watch it. Let's see. Euro was downside. The best test for it. We'll look at that. And let's look at if the euro drops, so all the euro pairs will drop, right? Euro Oz is coming. Euro Oz I will not get in the traders yet because this is the first impulse down. Let it make a correction. Let it go make a correction and then I'll get into it, right? So euro dropped a little, not very much, but it's here. It's at the trend level. So this is the point where you would want to put it to break even, because if they want to go back up, you see if they make a correction and they want to go back up. They make a correction, this is where they can go back up. So you can put the trade to break even there. I think you have enough pips to put it to break even. And if they break through the structure, it stays with it. If they go back up from here to make a new high, well, you get a break even trade, right? So we can go and put it to break even. Let's see how much pips we have in it. The euro, we have 27, 13. We have only about 12 pips. Let's just keep an eye on it. So it's only 12 and 27. That's 15 pips, not a lot. So let's keep an eye on it, and then we will put it to break even. It's coming very nice so far. If they pull back very sharp, we just close the trade. See, that's a problem with these small trades that I don't like. With 15 pips, I don't like to put a trade to break even 15 pips. But you can see that every time they drop here, they pull back, they make a move, they drop, pull back, right? They kind of make a correction. This could still be a 1, 2, 3 drop here and then go back up. I hope they break through. So let's keep an eye, see if we get a breakthrough in it. What are your thoughts on Eurozar and USD? We'll look at that. The South African Rand, let's see. I don't have the Euro one, but I can tell you the dollar one, what I think about it. Big picture, I think in the daily, we're looking for more upside. I think it's going to go up more. It looks, I'm hoping they'll come break that top. It looks a little more upside because this whole big structure was a downside structure. If this goes back down, it's going to be a very big correction. If this thing goes back down from here, this is going to come here and make a big correction before they go back up. But I don't see the sell set up here. So let's go in the 4 hour and see, right? See the 4 hours, I don't see the sell set up. I see something like this. and mostly something like this. So this might eventually go up. Wait for it to make a flag for a buy. I let this go make something like this a little more, and then you look for the buy setup. I don't see the sell setup there. It's not the best correction anyway. It's not like a complete. It looks more like a 1, 2, 3 expanding flat, but let's wait and see. But I would be looking for the upside. As you see this piece here, this was a buy to the upside if you're looking at that. Buy this. I still think there's more upside in it. This piece looks more like a correction within that one. And there is a chance that you're looking at this coming back here and you're making a pattern like that. 1, 2, 3, and then they go up. So that is a possibility there. What else? What are your thoughts, Zar? I'm in 1.61. That is on what you're in. When you're typing your message, please put the chart you're typing about, because by the time I get to your message, I'm on another chart. Remember that, right? So everybody type your message to panelists and attendees. And if you say I'm in 1.61, let's make sure you type the currency, right? And whether it's a buy and sell. So I can look at it if you want, right? Can you show us more examples of an A-B squeeze pattern? We're not, if I have time, I'll do it, but we're not pretty much doing that here. We're trying to get some live trades while they're moving, right? So let's go. If you can check we did that already. Gonna keep the Euro New Zealand sell. That trade might be really, yes, I'm keeping the sell, absolutely. It is a huge one. Let me go through back again because this is the most important one. It's a huge one actually. If you're in the sell to like me, then good for you. You would have to watch it. This is where you would do. You see this pattern here? You would watch it when it come a little more here, right? Because there's a chance they can do this and then drop. This becomes a flat in the middle, right? Still don't expect them to break that up. So I don't see them coming. I see them actually dropping. But let's see. That possibility exists. Like I said, Euro could go make a new high and then come down. Euro will come down to, it's just a matter whether it'll go make that new high first. So when you're seeing these patterns, and I can show you one of that so that you understand what I'm saying. Let me just show you one on the Euros, because we had one yesterday in the Euros. See this? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. What happened when they broke and they come here? They actually went back, retested top. So I'm looking for this to come, make a flag, and then we'll sell it. And this is a pattern that you get. So if you take this and you bring it over to the Euro New Zealand, that is a possibility that you're looking at right there. See that 1, 2, 3, if you make it bigger, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You want them to break and go down. If they're going to go back up, we will buy back somewhere here. The buy what I will be doing was actually, why would I buy it is because I expect that they can tag the top. And if they're going to go tag the top like this, I'll want to be in the buy for that profit, close it, and then it's going to drop. Right? So no need to rush, just give it some time. It's not gonna, if it reverses immediately, we close the Euro for break even or small loss. Let's see. Do you always wait for first impulse and correction, or do you enter sometimes at top of? I sometimes, it depends on the strategy you're using to trade. So there are numerous strategies. If you ask me about that question a little late, now that everything is moving, ask me about that question a little more. I'll tell you about wave analysis and how it works, basically, right? Sometime during the day. Euro New Zealand, like, looks like coming down. Euro New Zealand, yeah, we talked about that. Looks like coming down. Can you look at Pong Yen? Pong Yen right now, it's coming down. There isn't anything. We're not looking for a sell setup on the Pong Yen, so be careful there. Not as yet. We're actually looking more upside. So I can see it. I have the chart on. Nothing much there right now to do. Just, I think I would stay away from it. I can see them breaking this, but you see this piece here? There's a good chance they can stop right here and go back up. The Pong Yen bigger picture is upside. All right, the big picture in the Pong Yen, this is your big impulse. You've got a 1, 2, 3, and this could go up back there. So the question is this the lower, or are they going to drip? Because of where they are, I really wouldn't like it getting a sell there. You can get in the sell if you want, but you have to be very, very careful. I would not get in a sell on this candle, not here, not right now, based on strategies that I use. We're not going to discuss those, but I'm telling you what I will not do. That's basically something I would not do. So let's just wait and see what it does, right? Let me see what else you have. Right? Punk had nice flag for buy. Your story, how I say there are a lot of stories like that. I'm just happy if you're you're making money and it's helping you. That's what Can you look at Euro Yen and Euro Yen, New Zealand Yen? We can do that. Let's look at Euro Yen immediately. Let's get a Euro Yen. Euro Yen, we're looking for a sell, by the way. See this? We're looking for a sell in the Euro Yen. I would really, really, really like them to come tag that top, but if they don't, we can sell in the break of this. It's a little risky to sell when they don't tag the top, but it's a good trade still. Probably we'll have to wait for a little flag to confirm it if they don't break the top, but it's still a good trade. I like it. And New Zealand Yen, I think you asked for Euro Yen, New Zealand Yen, is that it? Yep, New Zealand Yen. Let me go to the New Zealand Yen. New Zealand Yen, I'm not looking for anything. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking upside. I'm watching this to see if they consolidate here, and I'm looking upside for that. So let's see if we get that. Will be maybe later today or tomorrow. Let's see. Just like I'm expecting New Zealand to break out. It didn't break out. That's why I put an entry order. They came down a little more, and that is what is pushing the Euro New Zealand up. But Euro is coming down too, right? So this is becoming like a nice flag here. I actually like the fact that they're coming down more too. If you take this off, you can see it's looking like a nice flag. If they go up, I will leave that entry order there. I still like it. I'm not looking for a sell in a structure like that. Okay, thank you for that, Becky. I didn't get to read the whole thing, but I will make an assumption it's something nice, right? Because copying trades from somebody. Oh, my short. I kept. Thank you for that. I think a lot of people have stories that they can share like that, because I personally did talk to a lot of people who are not even in my group who are in drawdowns that I help with their account. That's part of what I do. Thank you for sharing. I have a meeting to ask in regards to pairs you trade, how you pick the pairs that you. I don't literally like pick any specific pair. I just look if there's a good setup and a pair that I can trade, I trade it. There are some things I don't trade, like I don't trade crypto because the account doesn't allow me to trade crypto. Saxo doesn't have crypto in them. I don't trade commodities and all of those simply not because I can't trade them. You can use the same method to trade them. I try to stick to the ones that I like very much and I trade very much. And the rest are just random picking, right? Could you analyze CAD? We will do CAD. I'm not sure if you had enough thought the CAD. Let's look at the CAD. Most of the yen pairs, we're looking for upside. I'll let you know, big, longer term upside on most of the yen pairs, but they're not ready as yet, like CAD, right? To see it's not ready as yet there. And it's not a sell setup. I will not sell it. I'll probably just wait to see what they do because they're at a low. I'll tell you they're at a low, and I'm waiting to see whether they consolidate for the upside. The pattern on the CAD and the daily is showing you possibility for upside, right? So you see, you've got a very sharp impulse. You've got a 1, 2, 3. When you get something like that, you're looking for this trade, and then you're expecting them to break out. So most of the yen pairs have this setup, and we're looking towards, I always look for the longer term trade. I'm not a short-term trader. I'm talking about that because somebody make a comment on the YouTube videos, and people are making all kinds of crazy comments when they like. But I say this every time, and I'll say it again. You should not, if you're a retail trader trading a small account, you should not trade the way I trade. I tell my traders this every day, and they know that. I'm training myself for something else. You are trading for a different reason and a different size account for a different whole purpose. The purpose of it's like one person running for marathon and one person running a 100-meter sprint. You have to train differently, right? You can't be training the same way if you want to run a marathon and if you're going to run a 100-meter sprint. You guys are in a 100-meter sprint. I'm going for a marathon. If I can figuratively put it that way, so you understand what I'm trying to say. Don't try to repeat what I do. My trades are pretty risky, but they're specifically such for specific reason. I keep telling you guys, I don't look at money management. I teach money management. So don't tell me I'm breaking the rules. I know it without you. When people come and say, hey, he has very bad money management, I'm like, I know it. I told you that before. Don't tell me the same thing. I know what I'm doing. I'm willfully breaking the rules because I understand it. You have to first know the rules, and then you can decide if you want to break it. That's the whole point. One guy said he looks amateurish. Please save yourself the comment because it's a little funny when you say that. I know what the rules are. I know how to make traders. There's a reason I have 60 to 70% traders in my group making money, right? I willfully test different levels of waters. I'm putting my feet a little deeper into the water. I am training for something else. I have a different plan in life. My plan is not to take a $10,000 account and double it. I can probably do that in a month. That's not the plan I have. So don't repeat what I do as yet. I'm learning from this and I'm sharing the experience with you, and I'm sharing the experience with others. Things you should not do. Do not overtrade. I do it a few times and it didn't turn out well. I have to go correct myself. Don't overtrade. I'm still testing that water, but I'm trying to find that level where I can and how I can manage it until I get the size of the account that I'm actually training myself to trade. So I hope you understand that. So we don't go into that conversation. And like I said, if you don't like what I do, save yourself the time, because your time has a lot of value, even if you don't know it. You should be here only if you are getting benefit from what I do and you like what I do and you're enjoying it and you can get some help and you learn something. That's the only reason you should be. If you're not, feel free to leave. Don't waste your time commenting and all of that. It's a waste of time. That's the point, Alex. You're getting the point. That's what I want, to eventually get my own fund. So I have to have a strategy that I'm working on now to show to these investors that, hey, this is the strategy. I can't say, hey, I took a 15-minute trade and closed it in 2 days or in 2 hours. The people I'll be talking to will probably show me the door. They'll say, please close the door on the other side. But if I said, hey, I bought silver because I think silver is cheap. I bought it at 15, 16, 17, 14, and I sell it at 27, 28, 29. They can say, oh, we understand what you're doing. We know what you're doing. You seem confident and it seems to be working your way. If I said I bought it at 15.5 and sold it at 15.6, they will say, okay, thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. Right? Or we'll call you back. And you're not getting that call back. I'm not going to be talking to people who are interested in a trade for tomorrow. I'm looking for investors who are long-term, who are interested in trades. You buy something because you think it's cheap, you kept it for a year, and then you made a lot of money. That's my point. I'm doing something else from what you guys are doing. I've passed that stage of doubling a $20,000 account. I have traders who are doing that very regular, right? So it's a whole different story. Don't tell me I don't know money management, because it's very funny. I can teach you money management. I can teach you all the variations of money management. And I can teach you how you can break the rules of money management and still probably save your account, right? I do this. So it's that when I see comments like that, I'm like, okay, this one is definitely an amateur making the comment, because he probably just learned something about money management and he's coming to teach everybody else money management, right? So, yeah, and all of you, I hope all of you can get there someday. That's the whole point. I will never start being a trader if I think I'm going to just be trading a $10,000 account. If you know me, I think big. If any one of you know me and know my history or how I do things, I don't like to stop at the level where I feel comfortable. Comfort is not my thing. I like to break rules and go a little higher. Step it up a little more. Let it go a little more. Test the ground. See how far you can stretch your limit. Stretch your limit. See how far you can go. That's what I want to say. Always strive to be a little above, not downwards. When I hear people say, hey, I was a hedge fund manager, but I'll teach you how to trade retail. Give me $200. I'll teach you how to trade retail. I always ask the question, what happened to the hedge fund? Why the hell you, from a hedge fund manager who are trading millions, want to teach retail traders who are trading $20,000 account? Something went wrong along the way. I want to start with 20,000 and go trade the millions, because I'm not coming back. I'm looking forward, not backward. So I've seen the one guy, and he was accusing all the retail traders, people who train retail traders, of being scammers and things. And he was a big hedge fund manager, but now he's training retail people. And I'm like, hey, what happened? Just tell me what happened, right? Because when you get to the top there, you don't come down back. Nobody goes backward in life. We want to go forward, right? You don't become the president of the country and then go become the mayor of the smallest city, right? You don't do that. You don't find a president of a country, go back becoming the mayor of some small city in the country, right? When you become the president, that's it. You've met your ultimate goal as a politician. You don't go back to be mayors. So when people do that, it's pretty, So it's pretty funny when they do that, and especially when they start accusing other people of things like, hey, these guys don't know what they're doing. Well, I don't know if you know what you're doing. That's the whole point. So you will do that, guys. First you learn the rules, and then you see what you can break, right? First you learn all the rules, and then see how many of them you can break. Because to make new rules, you have to break the old ones. That's the whole point. So I hope you're getting that. Let's go. Cadian, this will come down a little more, but like I said, I'm not looking for these. When we have a structure like this, I don't like the little pieces here because they will go. I wanted to make a deep correction like this, and then I will go for the next big move. Or I will look for a reversal point. I hope that message is clear, right? Not that I don't see 20 pips there. I see 20 pips there. But the 20 pips there doesn't make sense to me. Because if I'm looking at a pattern, I'm looking for where is the bigger move. Not that I don't see it. If you come in my trading room, you will ask my traders how much of those 20 pips move or 30, 40 pips, and I show them on a daily basis. What I'm looking for is if this is going to turn somewhere here to go back there. This is the trade I want. This one. See that? That's the trade I'm looking for. We have 1, we have 1, 2, 3. Show me that trade. If I see that turning point, I'm in that trade. Right? Now, can this thing drip, drip, drip down here slowly, slowly, slowly before it turns? Of course. Right? It can do that. My traders will take those trades every day. But it's not the one I am looking for. Now, what if it goes down much deeper? For me to see this going down much deeper, I have to see a bigger correction. It has to do this. And now I see the possibility of this. This is the trade I'll go for. See? It's easy. Like I said, this thing is so easy, you would be surprised. You may wonder, well, if it's so easy, how are you losing money? Well, that's the point. Because I'm breaking many of the rules that I'm teaching people to do. I'm testing something new. Right? And I'm learning from that. So let's go. Let's trade. Watch what I do. Don't repeat what I do. I will show you a lot of small trades too, just like the euro, right? I saw the euro. Why would I take the euro trade? Yeah, because I like it. It's going down for a big impulse. I'm not going for the small one. I'm going for that big impulse, right? I'm going for this impulse down. And if it comes all the way down, I like that trade. And then we look for the upside. We'll all look for the upside after that. So thanks to the person who said to look at the euro at the time, because I had it prepared, but I wasn't looking at it. So that's a nice one. See? Now we want it to break through. If it breaks through, we stay with it. If it doesn't break through and it starts to pull back, we'll just close it. But I think they're going to break through. CAD. Let's see. CAD is breaking it, but CAD is not such a big one. By the way, CAD is breaking. This is a nice one. You guys can go with this. I'll tell you why this is not such a nice one. All they need to do to fulfill the pattern I'm looking at is break this stop. That's all. You would have to enter somewhere here and you'd have to put a stop here. You see why that's not so nice? That is not a nice one. Now, it doesn't mean that they will stop at that top that I show you. But at that top, the pattern will be considered fulfilled. How far more they go beyond that is anybody's guess. But once they hit that top, you can consider that pattern finished and it can turn and fall. So they can do this, break this top and do that. When they start to do that, I want this trade. See? So I will leave that to go up. And then sometime I leave it to go up. And instead of going and stopping here, they do this. And people said, well, that was a good trade. Why you didn't take it? Well, I don't know that they're going to do that. And I'm not betting on them doing it. But if they do it, great. I'll still look for the downside. As far as I can see with this pattern, that is what I see. Now, that doesn't mean you cannot take the trade because it's a pretty good trade. I think it's a good trade if you go with a better risk to reward in it, which means you can get a better entry somewhere here and put a tight stop here. But once it gets here, you put it to positive and leave it and then see how far it goes. How lucky you get, put it that way. You're in the right side, you might get lucky. It might go much farther than I think it's going to go. Right? But for me, once they break that top, that pattern is complete. It's fulfilled, not complete. It can keep going on, but they fulfill the pattern that I'm looking at. It's a good thing I closed the yen, right? Because yen is coming back as I expected to do. Can yen make a new low? Let's see on the hourly. They can, but I don't expect them to do it. I expect this to become a big correction for the upside. I don't see this going down to break that low now. If it's going to go to break the low, we will wait for a flag. And then we will trade it. If we see this, we will trade it to break the low. That will be a good trade. Unless you get that, you shouldn't be selling it right now. Because you're taking a very risky trade that risk to reward is no good. And then there's a good chance they don't go. So that's what we're looking for. Let's look at some more trades that you see. I make some of those rules. I don't only break them, I make them. That's the whole point. I make the rules for my own strategy. You have to make your own rules for your own strategy. Right? You will have. So while we're in that, everything, let's see what other trades we have, and then I'll tell you a little about wave analysis and how it works. So any other trades anybody looking at that you want to take? The New Zealand is coming down, but that does not change. As it stands right now, This does not change that trade. So I'm still keeping it. This might continue to bounce here for a while. If they break the low, that's when that entry order will come off. If they break the low, they can still break the low. I don't think it's impossible they can break that low, but if they break the low, that changes the whole structure as to the trade I'm looking for. I'll take out the entry order. Oil looking like an expanding flat. So my traders are buying oil, I think, right now. Let me just go see what they were buying oil this morning. Yep, they bought oil somewhere here, so you'll have to be careful. This pattern has two ways to look at it. If there's a contracting flat somewhere in here, then this is a 1, 2, 3, and we are going down. Put an entry order here. That's what I told my traders. Put an entry order here. If they fall, you don't want to miss that fall. If this thing is going to fall, you don't want to miss it. If it is going to go up, and it could possibly go up, which is if we look at this as the B wave with a 1, 2, 3, and this goes up, then you can buy here, which is what they probably did, and they should have done that. Put a stop here and wait to see when it breaks the stop, put it in the profit, because once it breaks the stop, you can still go down. It is looking like they're consolidating right now, right? It looks like a consolidation for downside, but we have seen these patterns. They just make a big correction here, and then they go make a new high, right? Like a big correction here, but see this one make it right at the top here. This one making it right at the bottom. So we have seen that pattern also, which means you can take the buy. You just have to manage it to break even. So right now, if I would not go with the buy, I'll put the sell and leave it. Why the sell? Because if they fall, the trade to the downside is a very big one. If this thing falls, you can come back really big down. You can actually see it, right? You can see how far down you can go if it falls. If they make a new high, once they break this high, they'll come back down here. This is coming back down. The question is, how high will it go before it comes back down, right? So the trade you're actually looking for, put a sell and leave it. If it breaks the top, take off the sell. That's what I would do. Sell it from the top here? No. I'll still wait for a correction down. I'll still wait for the structure to set up before I go. Selling at the top there is a little dangerous. If it comes to the top here, I'll not sell it. I'll wait for not that I will not sell at the top here. I'll allow it to come down, make a flag, and then look for a flag for a sell. So if the flag happens at the top, great, you can go. But if the flag is lower, then you wait for the flag and then you sell. Okay. So since it's a bit quiet now, everything is moved where they want to move. Things are going to stop a little, and then they're going to continue to go. The euro is going, the euro New Zealand is going. We'll see how they go later on. Let me give you guys a very fast rundown of what wave analysis is. Now, I think all of you agreed, and everybody in the world should agree. If somebody doesn't agree with this, they're pretty much not looking at the chart, or they're probably not understanding anything about charts, because all charts move in waves. Every single chart you see move. Nothing moves in a straight line, right? Light move in waves, sound move in waves. Everything moves in waves, including the chart moves in waves, right? Water moves in waves. Everything moves in waves. There is nothing like a straight line in nature. A straight line in nature does not exist. That's just a fact, right? This is not trying to, and it doesn't, that fact didn't come from me. I learned that, right? You can go and do some Googling and do some studies on it and research, and you will see there's nothing like a straight line. So if we can all agree on one thing, that the chart moves in waves, then the only thing you have to say to yourself is, hey, I want to be the best surfer in the world. If I know there are waves, big waves, small waves, I want to be the best surfer. The best surfer does not surf on small waves. He surfs on big waves, right? If you want to be the best #1 surfer in the world, you go for the bigger waves. The bigger the waves, the better for you. You don't trade in the 5 minutes and the 15 minutes. You trade on the big waves. You're going to fall down a few times. You might injure yourself a few times. You might get yourself badly hurt. Yeah, you will. But if you manage to ride some of the big waves, you will also become a legend, right? That's the whole point if you want to be a good surfer. So it's the same thing with trading. You can trade in the 5 minutes. You can trade. You might get a few shark bites too, right? You can trade in the 5 minutes. You can trade in the 10 minutes. You can trade in the 15 minutes. You can trade in the, can you trade in the daily too? That's the whole point, right? You can do that. And then if you're going to trade in different time frames, and you're going to trade in different time zones as well, some people trade, you will have to have different strategies. So if you go to my group, you will find that there's so many people in my group with different strategies of how they trade. Everybody has their own strategy. People just, we have like 2 or 3 basic strategies we teach you, and those are the very simple ones. But most people just tweak that to fit their own nature, what time frame they trade, what hours of the day they trade. So they have their own strategy, basically. There is only one thing every single person in my room has in common. That is the way we analyze the charts. And that's what I teach them to do. Because if you cannot analyze the chart, you can never, ever become successful. Never, ever can you become successful by not being able to do good analysis. Now, being able to do good analysis does not still make you a successful trader. You have to stay there. You have to practice. We have to help you. You have to learn to manage risk. You have to learn to take risk. There are people who are very good at analysis. They can't click a trade. They see a trade and you said, click it, and they can't. They just can't bring themselves to click it. Some of you may be right out there thinking, that's me. Everything is perfect, but I'm afraid to click the trade. And that's where we come in. We help them. We literally hold their hands through the trade. Said, okay, take it with me, take it small, and let's go. Right? That's what we do in the group. We hold people's hands until they get, the confidence to do it. Right? So we do all of that. We help them to do all the stuff, and then we said, okay, do this step by step. Let's go. I have a whole set of different methods of getting people to do. There's some people who click too many trades. I have a different method of how to get them off that. I work with them individually. But there's one thing that we do in our group that everybody else, that is doing it in the same way. How you analyze the chart, because the chart is not going to do something for me and something for you. It is going to do the same thing for all of us. So the analysis is the same. How you trade it, your problem. We have a trading room where people share their ideas, how they trade it, right? You don't have to follow that. All the traders in our room know you don't have to follow that guy. You can like what he does and say, you know what, he is waiting for this, but I'm going to buy it right now. I don't have to wait for it because I see my strategy is a little different from his. Whereas some traders are saying, not until it does this, am I going to sell it or am I going to buy it? And that's okay. What makes them comfortable as a trader? What kind of risk they're able to handle? Not everybody can handle the same kind of risk. So all of these factoring to make you a good trader. And that is why we have different success rate. People can double and triple their account while some people are barely making 5% a month. Whereas some people are still not even making money as yet. 40% did not make money last week, right? So we have to deal with them. And those are the 40% that I deal with. I don't deal with the people who make money. I deal with the people who don't make money, because the people who don't make money are the people who need my help. And that is why the group was created. And that's what we do in there on a daily basis, every single day. One thing you need to have in common is analysis. So when you look at my analysis, you have to say, is this analysis good? Is it working? Well, if it is and it's good and you like it, that's when you decide if you want to join our group. Now, I have said this. People said there are a lot of people out there criticizing you and saying all kinds of stuff for me. Don't you want to reply to them? I said, no. If you are somebody who are looking at what somebody else said out there and believe them, and you said, oh, well, I don't want to get in this group because of this, then good luck to you. That's you losing your money out of your stupidity, because you don't have the sense enough to go do your own research and listen. You should not listen to me. You should do the research. Go look at all my videos. Look back at them. Don't listen to what anybody says. Go look at all my videos and decide whether they work. Look at this video that I do. Look at every single video I do. Look at 100 of them. And then say, is anything that he is saying fits what I think? That's what you should do. But if you're listening to somebody else, well, then good luck. We don't even need people like that in the group. I mean, basically, I need people who are smart enough to be successful and willing to be good traders, because I invest a lot of times in my traders. I literally am there every single day, at least 1 hour, and sometimes more than 1 hour with them to make them successful. I don't want to invest all that time into somebody who is not smart enough to think for themselves, because that's time they can't pay me for. Any of my traders will tell you, they simply cannot pay me for the amount of time I invest in any one of them. I challenge them to tell me whether they can pay me for that time. Just the time factor, an hour a day for a year if you're in my group. What's the cheapest hour per day people work for? Let's take a country like India. How much is an hour job a day if you're working? And take that for a year and see if they've paid me that much money. So you see, and I'm living in Dubai. An hour a day in Dubai is pretty not cheap, right? Even if you're the cheapest worker in Dubai, it's not cheap. So none of them can say they've paid me for the time I invested in them. But I will keep doing that, because that's not the purpose of why I created the group. The purpose of creating the group is to make them successful. And when one of them becomes successful, who wasn't, that makes up for every single day and every single hour that I'm in the group. Makes me pretty happy, makes me proud. And my day is well done. I'm the happiest person for a day, and I get those messages every single day. So I'm a happy person. If you get a message like that every day from somebody thanking you for changing their life, making them successful, you ought to be a happy person, because every day you get happy messages. And that is the reason why I keep going and I keep doing it, right? That's the whole point. I get those messages every day. A lot of you send me those messages, so you know what I'm talking about. And that's the whole purpose, nothing else. We have a lot of those guys, they do the same thing. They help all these traders, and then they get the message. And sometimes they're so happy that they share the message with me. And I'm like, yes, that's what I want you to do. I want you to be that person who is so proud of yourself afterwards. So a little of what we do in our group and a little of what wave analysis is about. Let's go see what's happening with our trades. So we're in the euro. What is it doing? Is it going anywhere? Not as yet, but it's still good so far. It's going to close in 10 minutes and we'll see. We're in the euro New Zealand. Let's see what it's doing. Good so far. It's no reason to worry about it. It's pulling back a little, but still not enough reasons. It has to be breaking this before we start worrying for upside, right? Which means I have to see something that says buy it. Then I'll consider the buy. There is a chance, like you notice when they make this up move, they pull back, right? That is what we'll have to let them make an up move and pull back like this, and then we'll consider the buy. So there's no rush in doing that. You have about 12 hours more before that happens. That's for the euro New Zealand. Silver, let's see what silver is doing. It's breaking the top, but not enough. If you had an entry order, you're not taking this yet, but I hope they go, because I'm expecting this to continue to go up today, all the way to the top here. When they break that up, then I'll come back to see what the structure is doing. But for now, I think we should go up some more. CAD, for those of you who were asking about the CAD, you see I don't really like the CAD. It's not going so good, and just barely break that up and it's pulling back. Not a good idea. Right, what else we're looking at? No other trade that I'm looking at. You may want to look at the pound Swiss. Let's go look at the pound Swiss. That might be another trade we could probably get today. Pound Swiss, this is a good sell setup. An entry order here is not a bad idea if they just drop very strong. Let's see. Pound is going down, but the pound is already late to sell. Swiss is going up, but not so fast. I think I still like the pound Swiss to the downside. Pound Oz is known. There isn't a sell setup in the pound Oz yet. If you're going to sell the pound Swiss with an entry order here and it drops like that, put the break even, because there's a good chance we might get some correction here. I'm looking at this. There's a good chance we might get some correction in this entire thing. But I like the trade. So let's put an entry order in it. We'll put the smaller trade because the stop is going to be a bit bigger. So I'll put the trade on, put this entry order just under the low. I'll put the entry order just under this low with a stop just above this stop here. So this would be your risk. And when we don't know how low it's going to go because they're falling and they're trending to the downside, that's 58 pips. This is the line I expect them to come to. So this is the trade we'll be going for. And then after that, they can make very deep correction. And the daily, that's the trade you're looking for, right? See? Expect this to come back here. And then from this point here, we'll see if they're going to go back up or whether they're going to continue to go down. Right? Both scenarios possible. I'll tell you why later on, right? So first we want to get it there. As you notice, the first move down, they didn't really make any correction in it, right? They just dropped all the way to the bottom. So I can see this dropping all the way to the bottom before they either make correction or they reverse. So that trade is not a bad trade. You have a flag there. You have a nice 4-hour correction. It's a 1-hour correction as well. So an entry order under the low, if they drop, they can finish it in one move. See that? They can drop straight through to the bottom there. They can do it in one candle. So it's 30.06. Let's see. 1.3006, I think, right? That's correct. 3006. 3006, yes. And 3006. 3, and we give it a 3 pip. There's 0.2 probably. We give it a couple pips slippage. Right, so it's going to be 0.4 pip slippage, and we're going to go. And we leave it. Right? We'll come back to that later on. Let's see. It has to go tag us. I'm not taking any other thing earlier than that. I just want to see if it's going to fall really fast. Let's see. How do you look at depth of correction? Is that enough for punctuation? In a trending mode, that is enough. That is when it's trending. See, all these small ones, that's a trending. If you go back to the hourly, the big move down when it was trending, you would see pretty much the same thing. So this is the big move down the trend. They made a small correction, small correction, small corrections. You see the final drop was a very small correction. See that? And then they finally drop. This is the last piece we are looking for. So in a trending, when you're in a corrective mode, the corrections are much bigger. All the stuff we will teach you. Right? It's a whole, it's not that simple as it looks, right? Let's go. Let me see. I probably missed a lot of questions. Let me go back. Somebody ask about the depth? Are you looking for? Oh, I missed a lot of things there, guys. Let me see how far back I can go. Okay, it's a far way back I have to go. Bitcoin charts. I haven't read all of this. It's too much. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'll start reading from where we are right now. Really, no one knows how much joining. Oh, that's okay. Aussie USD. We'll come to that. Susian, we did it. Oil, we did oil. We'll come back to it again. From the depth of correction. UJ is starting the up move. Not as yet. It still can consolidate more there. We'll come to the UJ to grid making of 150. The Pong, be careful. The Pong is just going to break the top and it can turn. XRP, you're good. So if you were buying, somebody just said thank you for the XRP. Remember what I was saying? Just buy some and keep it because it was a low, right? So Ripple, if you want, we can go start with that since somebody was looking at that. So I was saying to you, there's a chance they might make a new low, but just buy some and keep it, right? That's all. If you bought here or you bought anywhere there, you're pretty much doing good, right? It's going to go up. So be careful of Ripple when it comes here. This is probably going to come back here to this level. And because of this pattern that I see here, 1, 2, 3, somewhere in here, they might even go a little higher, but they're going to make a 1, 2, 3 back down. I'm looking at this 1, 2, 3, back down to this level before you get the very big move up. They will make a big move up, but I don't think it's this one coming now. Just be aware of it, right? Don't take off your trade. Just move your stops. Let it take you off. But there will be a big move there. So keep your eyes on that. Let's see how it goes. So good work if you took the trade, if you're there, you're making money. My traders are in it. I know that because we watch it on a daily basis and we know where it's going to go. So let me go through some trades. Somebody asked for Aussie. Let's start with Aussie. Aussie, I'm looking for the upside. Again, somebody said hey, it dropped a little more. Well, no big deal. It can drop a little more again. I'm not interested in the little more to the downside. I think I explained that already, right? Now, there's a good chance you can see this little flag and you're thinking that's a good sell. Well, I'm not interested in that because it's a little sell to the downside. Let me just show you the trade again. Let's go through what I will be looking at. Now, this thing can come drip to the downside here. It can probably come like this quite a lot more here. But I want this trade. See the difference, right? Because there's an impulse, there's a correction, there's an impulse, there's a correction here, this piece here. I want that trade. So rather than, waiting for these, rather than getting myself involved in those little ones, I'm waiting for that to turn and then get the big one. Well, sometimes it doesn't turn immediately. It takes weeks sometimes to turn. You can get some nice small trades done. But again, if I was trading a small account, that's what I'll do. I'll take every small trade to the downside. Or if I was planning to just making money and, with this one account and that's it, that would be the plan. But that's not my plan. You bought Oz, which I don't know what you bought in 27. You mean that's Ripple? I think you're talking about, right? Okay, good because I was worried it's Aussie. So you guys please type what you bought or what you sold because that'll scare the hell out of me, right? Oil has a triangle in a weekly, monthly time frame. We look at it, but I don't see a triangle there. I think if I can remember the oil chart, but I don't see a triangle. I'll go look at it for you just now. I bought good. Okay, sir. For some, you can use annual. For some of us cannot afford your course, could you use the right direction? We are getting more knowledge and Elliott Wave principles. Hey, okay, let me say this only once. I avoid saying this all the time. We don't use Elliott Wave principles. I don't use Elliott Wave principles. Literally, I don't use them. I don't label my charts in the Elliott Wave file. I don't think Elliott Wave is as complete as it is. I think there's a lot of incomplete parts there that Elliott did not get to tell us about, or he didn't see the chart the way it is now. So what I'm teaching is, it's not absolutely different, but it's really different. And that's the first shock traders get when they come into my room, is that, hey, we can't find a 5 waves impulse. What happened? Well, it's not there. This video will create a lot of controversy now, right? You can already smell it coming. People are going to say, what the hell did he just say? Yeah, it's incomplete, but it's not. I wouldn't be a wave trader if it wasn't for Elliott Wave. If it wasn't for Elliott and his work, I wouldn't be here. But that work is incomplete. And if you try to just label all those crazy stuff they're labeling there, you're fixing the chart and it doesn't work. You follow any one of them and you will see. Their forecast is miserable. They keep changing it and it doesn't work. You can't even trade some of the things they label there. They themselves get confused labeling all those stuff. They just put letters and numbers all over the charts and that's it. And most of it, they correct hindsight, by the way, because it's useless. That's not what it's doing. The concept of wave analysis is not based on all those letters and numbers. I understand those are labels just to know where you are in different cycles and so you don't get very fancy about them. Try to see the patterns. Try to recognize the patterns in the chart. That's all you need to do. If you can recognize the patterns in the chart, you'll be doing very well. Right? That's more important than the labeling itself. Right? So let me just give you a very fast rundown. I think I've drawn this like a million times. I'll draw it again. If you want to be a wave trader, you have to learn this basic concept: impulse, consolidation, impulse. You will see that in the chart 100% of the time. If you're not seeing it, stop trading. 100% of the time you will see it, but you will see it. This is like the molecule. This is like the atom of wave analysis. Because it's fractal in nature, you might see another one like this, and another one like this, and then another one like this, and another one like this, and another one like this. But any piece of this you cut out will give you an impulse, a correction, and an impulse, an impulse, a correction, and an impulse. So you have to know how to identify patterns using that basic concept. That's what we teach traders to do. That is what I was doing today in the class, showing them how to identify patterns using the basic concept of wave analysis. Nothing moves in a straight line. It moves in waves. Now, when we do pattern recognition, when we teach you how to recognize pattern, we first let you know what type of pattern exists. We tell you how they're different from the patterns you read about in Elliott Wave theory, and that it's not as simple as an ABC or a WXY or all those stuff. It is much more complex, and sometimes it could get very complex. Let's step away from Elliott Wave theory for a second. Let's make an assumption that we didn't know anything about Elliott Wave theory. You can see the chart makes a move, and then you see it kind of do something like this, and then you kind of see it go back up, right? I think all of you can agree that you see something like this, some variant of that. So let's get very complicated, and let's say this variant was something like this. Regardless of what it's doing in there, you will see a pattern that repeats itself over and over. Whether the patterns is moving like this, whether it's moving in a 3-wave, whether it's moving in a 5-wave, whether it's moving in 100 waves, whether it's very complex like the punk cat, whether it's very simple as an ABC, whether you see an animal in there or you see I don't know what you want to see, depends on your fantasy. But you need to be able to recognize whatever you're seeing there correctly and recognize it every time you see it. Now, there are many variants of the pattern that exist in there. There's not one. Even the running flat has about 6-7 different variants. If you can identify that correctly, then you can get this one every time, or most of the time. See the concept? So it has nothing to do with labeling. It has to do with your ability to identify the pattern. Now, I can tell you right now, if you're not in my group, your ability to identify the pattern is very limited. Because this is what I've been doing all the time since I'm a trader. And we get better at it. Me and all my traders and my senior traders, we just get better at it on a daily basis. And the more we do it, the more we get better at it. And we can shorten your learning curve of trying to do it on your own. I'm not saying you can't do it on your own. You can do it. Might take you about 3-4 years, 10, 12 hours a day like I did, and like I still do. Or we can shorten that curve for you and show you all the short techniques of how to do it faster. I am compacting all my knowledge into a shorter term for you to learn. See, that's it. So anything that Elliott didn't tell us? Yeah, Elliott tell us there are impulses and corrections and impulse. We can see it. That's what everybody's saying, right? Why is then we've been not making money? Are you seeing it correctly? That's the whole point. Everybody does not. No, not everybody sees it correctly, right? And that's where the problem comes. How you're seeing the patterns, how you're identifying them. See, it's not that complicated. It's like playing football, right? Is there anybody here who doesn't know the rules of playing football or doesn't know how to kick a ball? Well, I don't think any one of you here is in any of the big teams. Any one of you here is a professional footballer in any of the big teams? Not that you don't know it, but you don't have a trainer to train you the right way to do it, right? So that you can become a pro. You don't have enough practice. First, you need to practice, you need a good trainer, and then you need a good team. If you want to become a good one. I'm not saying you can't be a professional footballer. I'm just saying you don't have the right training, you don't have enough practice, and you don't have the right team to do it. So what if you have a right team? What if you have a good trainer? And what if you get enough practice? The chances are you might become a pro. The same thing with trading. You just have to find the right team, find a good trainer, and find good practice. Get good practice. I mean good practice sessions, not just assuming you're getting good practice. That's the difference. That is the whole big difference in you being a professional or just trying to be a professional. I can go out in my yard here, it's downstairs, and kick ball the whole day. I'll probably never get into any team, right? So that's the whole point of our group. When people ask me what do we do in our group, that's what we do. So let's go get some trades again. I'm not interested in these little ones. Like I said, if they turn and they give us the big trade, I'll be willing to get into that big trade. New Zealand is going down a little more. It's good it's going down because it will give us when it's turning. It's still, I'll be watching for the break of this before I take out the entry order. Until then, the entry order is still good. Right? Until it breaks the low, the entry order for the upside is still good. Not that it will not go back when it breaks the low, but if it breaks the low and then go back, that's a different trade. That's a different pattern it's making, right? So if this continues to go and euro doesn't go down very fast, which is what we are expecting euro to do, will euro go now? It has to tell us if it is going to fall through the bottom, because that is going to depend on how the euro moves, and the New Zealand will tell us whether this is going to make a new high or it's going to go down. Like I said, the possibility of them making a new high is very, very high because of this pattern. Because of that pattern. So where would I get back into the trade if it's going to go up? Oh, that's red. You wouldn't see it, right? Yellow. Up, correction, then up. So it has to go up. It has to make a correction downwards. And then we look for that trade up there. And then we'll get the trade again tomorrow. So if I get into a buy here, once they break that top, I'll close the buy, because from there, I'm going to expect it to go down. This structure will go down, right? Let me tell you how I know it's going to go down. Because when this one was going down, if any one of you were following me in my weekly outlook, I told you this one was going to go back up. Well, why did I tell you that? Because of the pattern that they make over and over in the chart. You look at it. I actually bought this here and closed it here. That was a good trade, by the way. I probably should have kept it, because when I closed it, I put an entry order here and that never got triggered. Had I kept the trade, I probably would still, I would be out of it. In that pullback, I'll be out of it. Because from that point, I'm looking for downside. This is the trade I'm trying to get. So let me show you what is the trade I'm trying to get. It's not in that little piece. It's taking a long time, but the trade I'm looking for is this trade. You know how much corrections is going to be in that trade going down? Quite a lot, because you can look at this piece. It's going to get a sharp move, but then it's going to get a lot of that going down. So we're going to get the first sharp move like this, and then you might start to get things like this going. Right? That would be a lot of trades we can get to the downside. Can they tag the top here and then do that? Very likely. I'm not expecting them to. That would be an expanding flat, but they can do it. Just like this one here. See? I told you this one is going to happen. I actually told you it's going to come break that top, which it didn't do, right? Because I was looking for a 1, 2, 3. And then they make 1, 2, 3 here. So you can go back and look. I told you those charts exist. This chart actually exists. It's on TradingView. You can go TradingView, start your Euro New Zealand, and you'll probably find that chart there. You can start your Euro Yen, you'll find the same chart. You will find this chart in TradingView. It's there. It's an old chart. Check what time is it. This is what December. You'll have to check somewhere in here. It will be somewhere in October 16 in this piece here, because once we get that piece, we knew it was going to go up, right? Oh, why I got out of it? No, because I was already in a lot of trade. That was a news event spike there. I decided I'm going to take it out and put an entry order, let it correct, and then it's going to go. And that was where I miscalculated how the new leverage that they're using in Saxo. After the European thing, they started using this new leverage, and I didn't know that it's so small. Let's put it that way. Before, I never had that problem with them, but now with the new leverage system, I have to adopt it. When you have too much big trades on and you're in drawdown, they take out a lot of money for leverage because they want to be sure on their side that, you know, if anything goes wrong, they can protect themselves. Do we have plan when setting up a hedge fund? Not as yet. I hate to put the plans in because plans never work as usual. You know, they say tell God about your plans and he will laugh but it will happen. Let's put it that way. I don't give up, right? If you know me, I don't give up. It's going to happen, right? So it's just a matter of time. So let's see if we get a new up here and then the downside. Let's go. What else? When you get out, no, now, okay, I answered that question already. AB squeeze. Are expanding flats rare? Yes, expanding flats are much more rare than running flats and regular flats. The most common one you'd probably see is running flats more than sometimes regular flats, because what I notice is, especially in most pairs we trade, the running flat is really, really common. This is a running flat. There's a running flat we're looking at there right now. This is an expanding one. You can see that one there, right? There's a lot of them. I think if you start to check the Euro pairs, like the Euro Yen, Euro Oz, Euro New Zealand, there's a lot of running flats. Here's another bigger. Look at these two expanding flats. You have one here, and you have one here. See that? Look alike. This is just a smaller degree one than that, pretty much, right? But I think I would say that on some pairs, the running flat is much more common than the regular flat. Silver is coming down a little. Let's see. Let me see if it's still within the correction zone. It broke the top, so now if they go down, that could mean they could go retest the low again, which is not a good thing. See, they broke that top there now. So if they're going to go down, this could be a move that will go way back to this level, and maybe even go break the low. So now I will keep an eye on it because I want them to go up, not down. Because you see, this correction is over. That correction is over. They made a new high. Go to the 15, you can probably see it. Yeah, something like this, right? See this correction here? They broke out. I'm not sure we're still in the correction. It looks like they could still be making a bigger correction. I don't think so. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, come back, make a new low, and then go. We'll see. We keep an eye on that because they didn't break out very far. So it could still be more of a, like, you know, you make 1, 2, 3, and then you get 1, 2, 3, and then they come here and go back up. It will have to make a flag for a sell. So if they're going to go down for a sell, you will see something like this. See the flag, and then you would look for the sell. So they'll have to come here, make a flag, and then give a sell. So still early. No need to worry. What best trade to see running flats? And that's a 6-week course. That's the best way. You have to learn everything to be able to see them. Getting in trade using wave analysis a bit difficult because of pattern evolves. No, the best way you can get into trade is using wave analysis. Getting into trade without the wave analysis understanding could get you in bigger trouble. That's the whole point. That's what I'm trying to say. It's much more because you're trying to get into trade without understanding what the structure is doing, right? It's pretty much like trading out of ignorance. So if it does that, gold will do something similar. Yeah, gold can do something similar. Let's look at gold. Not necessarily, but they can. Yeah, as you can see, gold will just correct. See, gold is correcting. Gold is probably going to do this. drop somewhere here and then go back up. I think gold is good. I don't see gold going down more for bigger downside, but I can see them correct before they go. So it would be rare to see this come back here. Not that it's impossible, but it would be rare to see them come back here then go. If they're going to go down, we will have a sell setup. So tomorrow we'll see the trade. There's no need to worry. Tomorrow you'll see the sell setup if it's going to go down. You have a sell at a sell on what? Oh, sell on gold on 1285. You have a sell that you're already in, right? 1283845. Oh, that's a dangerous one. If you take a sell there, you should get out. If you were selling this breakout here, you should get out somewhere here. Don't keep trades like that, because if this thing consolidates here, it could take off like that tonight. And I mean, I can't tell you what to do to trade, but I'd say be careful, put a stop. 1 second, guys. Okay, let's go. So I'll say put a stop here, because if this could be a very small, if they're going to trend, let me show you in the daily. See this? If this thing is going to take off here now, if this is all the correction and this thing is going to go, they don't need a big correction here. It could be a small correction and they could move. All right? See this? Let me show you something. So see that little piece there? That's what we're looking at here. And then you could get a spike like that up to the top before you get a deeper correction. So it's not necessary that we will get a deep correction here. Just be careful. Because if this goes, it's not coming back, right? If this thing goes, it's not coming back. Let me show you why, right? You can see it now, right? I think now it's much clearer. If this thing goes here, it's not coming back. This is what you're looking at. This is your contracting flat, and that is the upside. So we're not coming back just now. We will come back, but not very soon. These are not structures you want to, these are not structures you want to be stuck in when it's going up against like that, because they can do this, and then maybe I don't know how high they go before we start to get downside again. And then the big up move. This is going to be more like a B wave structure. You get your first impulse, your correction, your next impulse down, and then you go. So upside could be really, really now. It could be big, so you have to be very careful. You don't want to be tagged in that thing when it's not coming back. So I hope for your sake they come back here. I even hope that they make a new low for you and then go, which would not be good for me. So let's see. Be careful. Okay, what are the trades you guys do? Contracting flats. Yeah, you can't forecast contracting flats. If you start forecasting contractors, you will see them everywhere. It's like anything would be a contracting flat, so it's impossible. You can make an assumption that that move was a contracting flat, but if you forecast it, you'll get yourself in big trouble. You will be in really, really big trouble. Swiss yen. Let's see. Okay, Swiss yen is correcting very nicely for an up move. We might get that this week. See, an entry order at the top there, but they're correcting, which is good. Probably want them to make bigger corrections here and then go. All right. So if they make deeper corrections, we'll move the entry order. But an entry order there is not a bad idea. The move is a big move to the upside. Yeah. We've got this one. We actually forecast this down to this level. We didn't think they're going to go so low. So if they make a correction here, they'll confirm upside for us. Now, if they're going to drop lower, then this will become a correction here. They'll go back there, something like that, and then we're going to go down like they did here, right? Make a more deeper correction for downside. But I think it's upside. This move up was pretty big. You got a 1, 2, 3 down in it here. You'll probably go back up there, retest those stops, something like that. So I think there's more upside in this structure. On the big picture, this is what you have. You have this move up, and you're getting this move down. So you're looking for one more move up here. So we have got this move up, we've got this move down, we want this move up here. See? So let's see if it goes for the 4 hour and wait. Wait for a correction in here in the 1 hour, and that will help. A 1 hour nice correction. It's just starting to correct. They move up, they're correcting now. They'll probably take a while. It's not going to go today, maybe not even this week. So we just wait. That's all. Pong is already going down. Pong has a lot of downside. All the Pong pairs too. They don't have the best structure. That's a problem. They're not like, if you sell this, you'll have to sell it right where it is now, which is not a good idea. Selling it here is not a good idea, right? So the sell here was a good idea, but they pull back. So if you take that trade, you have to keep a stop here. Risk to reward. I expect Pong to go down more on the big time frame. Pong, Oz, Pong, everything is downside. Pong should come and break this low at least. Right? At least that low we expect them to break. Pong Oz downside. Let's see. I was in the sell this morning. I think I showed you guys. I took it off for a loss because it started to go back up. I don't see a sell set up in this now. See this? I'll be careful because you have one sharp move up and you're getting a correction coming down. This is more of a correction coming here. Let them pull back. They'll probably do something like this, and then we will look for the sell. Right? So if they're going to drop like this, then we will wait for a break, like something like this. See this? When they pull up here, they made that move up. They came here, they pull back there, do this. So if this is coming down once, you want to go back here, or you want and move down here before they go, something like this, and then we'd look for the downside. So I don't think they're going to fall right now, but if it falls, we'll have to wait until it breaks the structure, make a flag, and then sell. Because selling it now is not, you're going to be trapped in that sideways move for a long time. Big picture, downside, absolutely no question about that. Where is this going? Downside. Maybe we will get one more up, one here, one there. We'll get this. We probably get one more up here, and then the downside. If they come break that top, I'll look for a sell. Okay. Yep. You can get back into the pound Swiss after a time. After the flag it break, it's coming down back, and then wait for the trade again. So all the pound trades are downside. They're big time downside, not short term downside, right? This one is big downside. I showed you this already. I think we started with this one. This is big time downside, right? It's not short term. We just have to get a good entry at the top there, right? A good entry will give you, better risk to reward in the trade, and when it goes, it's going to make you more profit if you're trying to get the best entry. So let's wait some more. I even took a loss on this one this morning because I closed it. It wasn't, and it was new, so they probably, I thought the news could have driven it back to the top here. So just better to take it off. I enter here and I took it off right there, very small. So let's see, Punk Cat. Let's go through all the Punk trades. Punk Cat downside. Actually, this one was a good sell. Let me see. You would have to sell here now. See, now it's breaking out. Now this is breaking out in the Punk Cat. Problem is you have a lot of diverge. You can still take the trade. The trade would be to this level, right? So Punk Cat is not a bad one. CAD looks a little upside. Pound Swiss is not a, we have an entry order in the Pound Swiss. I have an entry order in the Pound Swiss. It's not triggered as yet. I have an entry order right there. So if they drop through the bottom, we'll be in the entry order. Pound Yen. I'm not selling the Pound Yen, not because I don't think it's going to go down, because in the big picture, Pound Yen is more upside. I'll show you that afterwards. Let's go. Pound New Zealand. Pound New Zealand is downside. The only one that I think has upside is the Pound Yen. So this one is going to come here. See that? It's pretty easy, right? Remember the cat I show you? You have an impulse, you start to do this. After a time, you're going to come here. So you have to look for an entry somewhere in here, which you can stay with. Let's see if we have that. We don't, right? We don't have the entry to get in, right? If you got in earlier, you can stay with the trade. If you got in earlier somewhere here. On the 1 hour, it's coming down now, but it hasn't broken this low as yet. And you have a sharp move up. So the best thing would be is if they go back up. If they do this and go back up like that, then come down. Now we will get a good trade, right? So this was a good sell if you sold here. You just have to stay with it. Then you're in. If you're trying to sell here, put an entry order under the low. Because by patterns wise, they can go back up, and you don't want them to actually go back up, stay there, and you're in the trade for a very long time, right? Hi, Zach. Students are in, right? A lot of my students are in a lot of Pound trades going short term that they took from the very top and they kept. Right? There's no question about Look at SPX today. Oh yes, somebody wanted that. Somebody wanted this. Let's go look at it. So, like I said, everybody is going crazy. What's happening in the China and the US? Here's the thing. Let me just tell you guys something. Remember when this was falling? I was telling you it was going back. Go look at the weekly webinar. I was telling you, guys, this is not the fall. We will have to retest that top. And then when they retest the top, they can come down if they want. Did I know that Trump and China will be starting some darn tariff war when S&P hit the top? Well, of course, if the three of us had a conference and I was in it, then yeah, I knew that. As it was going up, I said, it has to break that top before it turns. So the three of us was having the conference. I just didn't tell you guys it, right? And we decided, let's wait for it to break the top, and then we're going to start the trade war. See how crazy it sounds now when you talk it like that? Because it has nothing to do with that trade war. Because if it had, then I'm a fortune teller, right? If the trade war is what makes this is coming down, then I'm one of the best fortune tellers in the world. It has nothing to do with the trade war. That's all BS. That is the narrative that is being sold to you, the common people like us, right? When they hit the top there, they pull back. Now, I can tell you right now, there is no proof this is not going to go back up. As a matter of fact, I think in the bigger picture, it's going to go up. So what will be the narrative to tell you that it's going to go back up more? They want you at this point, right? You were buying, and now they're dropping it against you, and then they're going to allow you to go back up. So when you sell, you will sell somewhere here, and then you're going to watch it go back up. Told you I was there, right? So it's structure, guys. Look at it. You want to see a structure like that? Well, there's one here. Let me show you. See the similarities of those two structures? See that? Look at this one. See it? What happens after that? They trend up. What will happen after this? I think they will go up some more. And then we will probably see the fall. Right? There is a big fall coming, but I don't think this is it as yet. You know how we will know whether this is the big fall? Here's what you're going to do. You're going to go on the 4 hour and you're going to wait until this confirm a sideways move. You're going to wait until this here confirms something like that. And then you can say we're getting a big fall. What it is doing right now is just pulling back against the trend. They've done that before here. They've done it before here. They've done it before here. They've done it all the time in the entire trend going up. They keep pulling back. So the pullback after they break the top is not, look at this, see? Broke the top, pull back, go, break the top, pull back, then go. Crazy stuff, right? Yeah. That's how the chart behaves. And I don't know whether there is another tariff war there or not. So the tariff war have nothing to do with this. Now, you can believe it or you can don't believe it, because if you believe it, you first have to, then you have to accept that I'm a fortune teller. If you don't believe it, then you just have to accept that the wave analysis works. So people who look at this webinar and said I'm crazy will have to accept one out of two things. Either the wave analysis works very well, and I'm good at it, or I'm a damn good fortune teller to know that there is going to be a tariff war and the price is going to drop. So you make your pick, right? You have to make the pick, which one you want to believe. Because that's exactly, when it was falling here, I remember some people were already going crazy. When I said it's going to go back test the top, they were like, no, this guy's crazy, look at it falling. It's never going to go back. Well, it went up. Because you had to look backwards. All you had to do to know that it was going to go back is go look backwards. Don't shut your eyes when you're looking at the chart. Open your eyes and look backwards. When you see something like this, they do that. When you see something like this, they will do that. See? No magic, no crystal ball, and no tariff war. If you're thinking, but this is a tariff war, then what the hell was this? What was going on here? World war? If that little one is a tariff war, then this one will have to be because of a world war happening, right? Crazy stuff. Just think when you feed this information by the press, think for yourself. Look at the charts and think for yourself. What war was going on here? Or what war was going on here? You can always find something to explain that, guys. There will always be something to explain it, right? I'm not saying there isn't. There will be something to explain it. Something, every day somebody is doing something. So you can always pinpoint and say, okay, this person did that day, or this person said that this way, or this person. But what about the days when they're saying crazy things and doing crazy things and nothing is happening, right? Trump has been saying crazy things from the time he became president, but S&P 500 was going up. Right? It was going up. It's not like the first time he's saying something crazy. Let's be honest. I know if you're a Trump supporter, you may be angry with me, but he's been saying a lot of crazy stuff. He's been starting a war since he came in the thing, right? He's warring with somebody for something, right? But that didn't affect the market from going up. So why suddenly they think that the China trade war is bringing it down? No. I wanted to call them and tell them that they're just feeding people crazy stuff. It has nothing to do with that. Just like this has nothing to do with Trump, this downside has nothing to do with Trump. You would put anybody as president and it will behave exactly the same way. It has nothing to do with them. Market will do what the market will do. And regardless of who is the president. Learn to understand these things, guys. Capital does its own things from what politics is doing. Yep, you can look for a nice entry if you get it. I think right now we're looking for short-term sells. Short-term sells like this, if they consolidate their short-term sells, take short-term sells, but take out profit. And when it turns, you will see the turn structure and then you start buying. We don't have a structure that says it's turning right now to buy. So, okay, guys, we're here for an hour and a half. Let's see. Let's take a final look at what we're doing. So the euro is going good. The euro New Zealand is coming down back slightly. No need to worry. I think silver will still go up. I don't see silver coming down as yet. So I'm very long term in silver. I showed you. So I wouldn't be worried very much about silver whether it goes up and down. That little up and down is not bothering me. Account is doing well. Well, well is a relative term. I mean, from where we started yesterday, we started this at 341 or 342, something like that. It varies. 10, 20,000 up and down is pretty simple. Remember, you have to add 28,000 to this sum, right? So the account value right now is at 3. That is, of course, if this 28,000 is still there, it's just being held back for the option, right? So. And the option is still in ending of June, so there's a lot of time for that. So if you add 28,000, it's 380 something thousand, right? About 390. And this is the one I need to grow. I need to grow this. I hope by the end of this week we can make this above 500. Right? That's the plan. At the end of this week, let's get this sum above 500. That's the main one. This one is relative because that goes up and down all the time. So if we can do that, the week is good. If I can move that to above 500K, the week is good, right? So let's see if we can get some more good trades. I would probably take a break here. Keep your eyes on the Aussie. I can tell you what to keep your eyes on. Keep your eyes on the New Zealand. Keep your eyes on the Aussie. The Aussie might start the up move. If it starts that up move, don't try to get in too early, because if you try to get in early here, see what happens. If you try to get in early here, wait for the setup. If you get the right setup, you get the right trade. Tomorrow we'll get it. Silver is going back up. Yeah, good. That's good. It's going to go. I think they're going to finally break this top area today. If they break that top today, we will be above. We'll be above 4, and then we'll go above 500. So for all of you, here's my last final word that you're going to do. Yesterday, I leave you with the thought of think positive. That helps. I want to tell you, listen to the news, but listen to it just for the fun, right? How often I go to Dubai Mall? Very, very rare, my friend. My wife does all the shopping. And then she will have to when she pulled me out of the house on the weekends is because I'm going with my son to some park. The last time I think last week, we went to this Dubai Harbor. No, what is it? There's this big new park they're building. It's called Harbor something. I can't remember what's the name of the park. Dubai Creek Harbor, I think. Dubai Creek Harbor. Any of you guys in Dubai? Anybody here in Dubai? Have you guys seen the Dubai Creek Harbor place? It's a nice place they're building. It's kind of around that big. It's not a creek, but I think it's like a big. What is Ozer in English again? Right? It's a nice place. Yeah. We went there. We had dinner there. It's really nice. A lot of people go there. They're building that place now, so it's beautiful, right? So most of the time when I'm out of those, I'm going somewhere. I'm not going to shop. Shopping is not my thing. My wife does the shopping. I'm not somebody who likes to go to shopping. Pretty much. If I have to do shopping for myself, even I'd probably be wearing one t-shirt. It doesn't bother me. I'm not the shopping type. So Dubai Mall, I went quite a number of times. I went the first time just to see it, and then after that, I take all my friends and family who come here to see it too. They go there to go up there, Burj Khalifa. That's why we go there. And everybody who come has to go up. So I went a number of times, but that is because I'm like a tour guide, taking all my friends and family who come here. And a lot of them come to Dubai. They'll still be coming. I have a lot of friends and family. My mother was in Dubai some last year. I think was this year, actually. It was this year, the 2nd of January. She was here for a week. So I took them there. That was the last time I probably went there. So all of you have a great day, great week ahead, and let's see if we can make some money. Take care. Trade with care and think positive. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye.